Most people will never save $100,000 in their lifetime, not because they are lazy, not because they are incapable, but because they were never taught how money truly works, and more importantly, how their own behavior quietly controls every financial outcome they will ever experience. Saving your first $100,000 is not about luck, inheritance, timing the market, or discovering a secret investment strategy. It is about discipline, structure, repetition, and identity. This number is not powerful because of what it can buy. It is powerful because of what it forces you to become. Your first $100,000 is the hardest money you will ever save. In the early stage of your financial life, money does not work for you at all. You exchange time for income. Every dollar requires effort, focus, and sacrifice. Progress feels painfully slow. Results are invisible for a long time. Motivation fades because the reward is delayed. This is the phase where most people quit, not because the goal is unrealistic, but because the process feels unrewarding and boring. But something important happens when this milestone is reached. Momentum begins to build, compounding stops being theoretical and starts becoming visible, confidence grows, decisions become less stressful, options expand, money stops feeling fragile and starts feeling controllable. That is why the early stage of your financial journey should be focused on one clear objective: reaching your first $100,000 as fast as realistically possible. This is not about ego, this is about leverage. One of the most dangerous myths in personal finance is the belief that you need a very high income to reach this goal. You do not. Many people earning average salaries achieve it, while many people earning six figures never do. Income alone does not create wealth. Behavior does. If your expenses rise every time your income rises, you are not progressing. You are running on a treadmill. More effort, same position. Lifestyle inflation is one of the most destructive forces in modern society, especially in top-tier countries where comfort, convenience, and status are aggressively marketed as necessities. The fastest wealth builders do not try to look rich. They try to become free. The first and most uncomfortable rule is simple: you must live significantly below your means. Not temporarily, not occasionally, intentionally. This does not mean living a miserable life or rejecting all comfort. It means choosing long-term control over short-term validation. Every purchase is a trade-off, whether you acknowledge it or not. The real cost of spending is not the price tag. It is the future progress you give up. Most people ask the wrong question. They ask, "Can I afford this?" The better question is, what does this delay? Small expenses feel harmless in isolation. A monthly payment here, a subscription there, an upgrade that feels justified. But repetition is powerful. Monthly commitments quietly drain momentum. Finance lifestyles keep people working far longer than necessary. Wealth is rarely destroyed by one dramatic mistake. It is eroded by thousands of small, rationalized decisions made daily. Frugality alone, however, will not get you to $100,000 quickly. You cannot cut your way to wealth if your income is too limited. There is a floor to expenses, but there is no fixed ceiling on earning more. The true objective is to widen the gap between what you earn and what you spend. That gap is where wealth is created. Increasing income does not mean endlessly working harder for low value. It means moving closer to value creation. In top-tier economies, the greatest advantage available is access to high-paying skill markets. Skills that solve expensive problems are rewarded disproportionately. Sales, technology, data analysis, digital marketing, design, cybersecurity, consulting, and communication-based skills are not restricted by age, background, or formal education. They are restricted by competence, consistency, and effort. Degrees may open doors, but skills keep them open. Your primary job provides stability. Your additional effort creates acceleration. Evenings, early mornings, and weekends are often the hidden cost of speed. This phase requires sacrifice, but it is not permanent. It is an investment period, not a life sentence. Debt management is critical during this stage. High-interest debt is one of the fastest ways to destroy financial progress. Credit cards and consumer loans charging double-digit interest quietly undo months of discipline. Eliminating them is not just a financial move, it is a psychological one. Every balance paid off reduces stress and increases flexibility. Once high-interest debt is under control, automation becomes essential. Automation removes emotion, and emotion destroys consistency. When saving and investing happen automatically, progress continues even when motivation disappears. Discipline becomes a system instead of a daily struggle. You should never rely on what is left at the end of the month to save. That method fails almost everyone. Instead, saving must happen first. Income comes in, a portion is immediately removed, and life is built around what remains. This structure forces progress even during difficult or unmotivated periods. Consistency matters more than perfection. Some months will be strong, some will be disappointing. The key is staying in motion. Progress compounds quietly before it becomes obvious. The early phase always feels slow, and that is exactly why it works. Most people quit before momentum has a chance to build. Another critical factor is environment. Your surroundings shape your standards. If you are constantly exposed to impulsive spending, comparison culture, and short-term thinking, your progress will slow down. You do not need to isolate yourself, but you must filter influence. Not every opinion deserves weight. Not every lifestyle deserves imitation. Clarity beats motivation. Motivation fades. Systems remain. Tracking your numbers is not optional. Know exactly how much you earn, how much you spend, how much you save, and how long it will take to reach your goal at your current pace. What gets measured gets improved. Most people avoid their numbers because they fear reality. Builders confront reality and use it as fuel. Saving money is not deprivation, it is purchasing options. Options to quit, options to invest, options to choose, options to walk away. Every dollar saved increases control. Control is the real definition of wealth. You do not need millions to feel powerful. You need margin. Margin between income and expenses. Margin between stress and peace. Margin between obligation and choice. The first $100,000 gives you margin. Many people never reach this milestone because they underestimate themselves. They believe discipline is something you are born with. It is not. Discipline is trained. Income is not fixed. Skills can be learned. Habits can be changed. The biggest mistake is waiting. Waiting to earn more. Waiting for motivation. Waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. There is only action and delay. The first $100,000 is not built through excitement. It is built through repetition, patience, and restraint. It is built by showing up when progress feels invisible. It is built by choosing long-term outcomes over short-term comfort. And when you finally reach this milestone, you will realize something important. It was never just about the money. It was about who you became in the process. Once you understand the foundation, speed becomes the next priority. Saving your first $100,000 fast is not about rushing blindly. It is about removing friction, eliminating distraction, and making fewer but better decisions. Speed comes from focus, not chaos. Most people fail financially because they spread their energy too thin. Too many goals, too many plans, too many opinions. When everything matters, nothing moves forward. Real progress requires narrowing your attention to one dominating objective and aligning your life around it. That objective is simple. Convert income into assets as efficiently and consistently as possible. Every decision you make is either helping or hurting that conversion. There is no neutral choice. Either you are building momentum or you are slowing it down. The problem is that most slowdowns feel normal. They feel justified, they feel harmless. That is why clarity matters more than motivation. Motivation is emotional and temporary. Clarity is logical and permanent. When your goal is clear, decisions become easier. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop asking how something feels and start asking what it costs you long term. One of the biggest accelerators is learning to say no without explanation. No to unnecessary upgrades, no to lifestyle pressure, no to social expectations that do not align with your goals. Every yes has a hidden cost. Every no preserves speed. This does not mean isolating yourself from life. It means choosing intentionally. You can enjoy life without financing it. You can have fulfillment without excess. You can build memories without destroying momentum. Another uncomfortable truth is this: your environment will either support your progress or quietly sabotage it. If you are surrounded by people who normalize debt, impulsive spending, and short-term thinking, your standards will slowly shift in the wrong direction. This does not mean those people are bad. It means their habits are incompatible with your goals. You do not need to announce your plans. You do not need validation. You need boundaries. The more private your financial discipline, the more powerful it becomes. Silence builds faster than noise. Speed also comes from avoiding mistakes that reset progress. The biggest one is chasing fast money instead of building stable money. Many people delay their first $100,000 by gambling on shortcuts, hype investments, speculation, trends they do not understand. Fast does not mean reckless. Your first $100,000 should be built on reliability, not excitement. Simple systems beat complex strategies. Low-cost investing beats constant trading. Consistency beats prediction. This phase is about building a base, not swinging for the fences. You are laying a runway, not launching a rocket. Once the runway is long enough, bigger moves become safer. Until then, protection matters more than upside. Another overlooked accelerator is time discipline. Time is your most valuable resource in this phase. Not just working time, but thinking time. Scattered attention slows everything down. When your focus is split, progress leaks. High performers schedule their finances. They have regular check-ins, weekly awareness, monthly reviews. They do not guess where their money goes. They know. Know your numbers, know how much you earn, know how much you spend, know how much you save, know how long it will take to reach your goal at your current pace. Numbers remove emotion. Numbers create urgency. Dreams without timelines stay dreams. Tracking is not about control, it is about feedback. Feedback allows adjustment. Adjustment creates speed. Another important factor is intensity. Intensity is not burnout. It is concentration over a defined period. You do not need to live this way forever. You need to live this way until momentum takes over. There may be a season where you work more than average, spend less than average, rest less than average. That season is the price of becoming uncommon. Most people want uncommon results with common effort. That equation never works. The good news is that intensity is temporary. Discipline compounds. Once habits are formed and systems are built, effort decreases while results increase. That is the power of momentum. Mindset plays a massive role here. You must stop seeing saving as sacrifice. Saving is not losing money. Saving is converting money into control. It is buying freedom in advance. Every dollar saved is an option to leave, an option to invest, an option to wait, an option to choose. Options reduce fear. Fear causes bad decisions. This is why people with no savings tolerate situations they hate. They lack options. Wealth is not about luxury, it is about leverage. Another mistake people make is waiting for confidence before acting. Confidence comes after action, not before. You do not need to feel ready, you need to be committed. Commitment means continuing even when results feel slow, even when motivation fades, even when nobody notices, especially when nobody notices. The first $100,000 is built quietly. There will be no applause, no announcement, no dramatic moment, just a number you eventually cross because you refuse to quit. Comparison is another silent enemy. In top-tier countries, comparison is constant. Social media amplifies lifestyles that are often financed, filtered, or exaggerated. Comparing your behind-the-scenes discipline to someone else's highlight reel will drain momentum. Run your own race. Speed is relative. Direction is everything. One person saving aggressively for 5 years will outperform someone spending casually for 20. Time rewards focus, not appearance. As you move closer to this milestone, something subtle changes. You start thinking differently. You become more patient, less reactive, more strategic. Money becomes a tool instead of a source of stress. That shift is the real reward. Many people think the first $100,000 is about money. It is not. It is about proof that you can commit long-term, proof that you can delay gratification, proof that you can operate differently than the majority. That proof changes how you see yourself, and how you see yourself changes how you act. At this stage, discipline becomes identity. You no longer force good habits. You default to them. You no longer need motivation. You have standards. And standards are powerful. The reason most people never reach this level is not lack of opportunity. It is lack of patience. They quit too early. They change plans too often. They chase comfort instead of progress. Progress is uncomfortable at first. Freedom is uncomfortable for those who are not prepared for it. Discipline prepares you. There is no perfect strategy. There is only execution over time. Simple actions done consistently will outperform complex plans done inconsistently every single time. Do not underestimate the power of staying in the game. The first $100,000 is not the finish line, it is the doorway. But you cannot enter the next phase if you never build the foundation. This milestone gives you breathing room. It gives you confidence. It gives you the ability to think long-term instead of surviving short-term. And when you finally cross it, you will realize something important. The hardest part was never earning the money. It was becoming the person capable of keeping it. That transformation is permanent, and everything after that becomes easier. If this video helped you see money differently, don't keep it to yourself. Someone you know needs to hear this today. Like the video so it reaches more people who are serious about changing their financial future. Subscribe to the channel for more real, practical guidance on building wealth the right way. And turn on notifications, because the next step after your first $100,000 is even more important. This journey isn't about hype, it's about discipline, clarity, and long-term freedom. Stay focused, stay consistent, and I'll see you in the next video.